Welcome to our channel, Create Your Future. My name is Carol, and we are talking about law of assumption on this platform. So today, I'm going to do a short video because I have people who prefer short videos, others long videos. So today, I am going to offer a shorter video to make some of you guys happy. All right. This video is about how to change your mindset very fast. And I'm going to give you an example about a session I had with a client and how we change her thoughts to have a quick outcome, and how the situation changed 180 degrees, and how she did it, and how we did the work, and how you guys can do it. It's just, to change your perspective and to see how at all times you guys can do it. It's all in your mind. Everything is a reflection of your thinking. Everything in your 3D reality is a mirror of your beliefs, of your assumptions, of your thoughts. And a belief is a bunch of thoughts that you keep on repeating to yourself to the point that you start believing them, right? So you repeat that so much that now you believe them. Assumption is a bunch of thoughts that you believe about another person or about another situation. Your specific person is acting a certain way. Now you have a whole bunch of assumption about why your specific person is acting that way. You have a whole bunch of assumption about what your specific person is thinking about you, what's going on in their life. You don't know. The truth is you don't know, but you're assuming, and now you're creating a story around it, right? And now you're basing your decisions and maybe your life around those assumptions. The power is yours in the sense that you can change those assumptions, right? Because nothing is real. Nothing is real. They are just thoughts. And those thoughts, you control them. You are in charge of deciding those thoughts. All right, so I give you the example I meant to give you to be concrete. We were in session, and the client had she was very nervous because she was getting sued, and it was an unfortunate situation. She was not responsible for the situation, and she was getting sued. She was very nervous, and her lawyers were preparing her for the deposition that she was going to have to face with the lawyers from the other party who was suing her. So the first, so there was a date where she had to be with her lawyers, and they were going to prep her with going over all the questions that they were thinking, or I'm not exactly sure, but they were going to rehearse the questions that the were going to ask her, and they were going to practice the answers, something like that. So she was very nervous about it, and that was her reality. So there was the lawsuit. First, there was the problem. So the problem happened. Now she got scared about the problem, and she was thinking about the problem. Then came the lawsuit from those people that amplified the problem. Then the lawyers got involved. Then they were preparing her for for that deposition. So she was thinking about the day of the deposition ahead of time. So she was worried. She was talking about it. She talked about it with me in session. She talked about it with her friends. She was talking about it a lot. And came the day of the deposition. It went all right, but she was still very nervous. And we had a session right after the deposition. And we discussed it. And she was saying that, okay, even though she felt prepared to face the lawyers and she knew what she had to say, and even though she knew she was not at fault and there was really nothing that could happen to her, she was still nervous about the whole process. It was uncomfortable. And I guess that's a natural response. Nobody likes to deal with lawyers and problems in general, right? I mean, that's, some people don't care, but she did not like it and she was uncomfortable. I totally understand that. However, as her coach, my job was like to go 10 steps ahead, in the sense that why even have to have this deposition? Why do we have to face those lawyers? Why do we have to go through this uncomfortable position? Why do we have to deal with this fear? And she was like, well, because they're suing me and I have to. I said, well, you know what? Let's create a new story, because let's face it, this is a story, right? And look around. What's going on right now? And she was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, look around. You're sitting at your desk. You're in a room. There's no one else in the room. Is there? So she looked around and she goes, no, there's no one else. And I asked her to describe the room to me. So she described the room. There was not that much going on in the room. And I said, even me, I'm just a flat image moving on your screen. Am I even real? Just to put some perspective on it, which at the end of the day, I'm her pushed out, right? I'm a flat image on the screen, like I am for you guys right now. And she was like, wow, okay. I guess, even though I'm talking to you, it doesn't matter. I am still you pushed out. And I'm not real, because nothing is real. I am a reflection of your consciousness. And so is everything else, since everything is a story and everything is empty. So let's change our story. And so we start discussing what the story could be like. And I said, okay, what would be the best scenario? Well, the best scenario would be that, she said, so not me, but her, the client, I don't have to go to the deposition and that everything is resolved. I said, okay, here we go. Sorry. Here we go. That is our story. Everything is resolved. And this is behind you now. It's already behind you. It was resolved peacefully and everybody is happy with the outcome. And it's a thing of the past. Period. So we worked through this during our session. She made sense out of the story, in her mind, but as we talked about it, and then she rehearsed it, and she talked some more by herself afterwards at home. And she got an email. Kid you not, she got the email the next day that the whole thing was postponed, and another email right after that they were going to settle this thing, that the deposition was canceled. So the whole thing got changed. This is to tell you, my friends, that everything is a story. Everything is a story in your mind. And whatever makes you fearful, scared, or anxious, you have to, take a little step back and sit down. And then, if you have to, go lock yourself in your room and then realize, okay, I'm in my room. There's nothing right now, nothing coming at me. And everything is a story. There's nothing. And I can change my story, and you change your story, and you stick to it. You identify as that person with that new story. You embody that new story. This is your new state. This is who you are. This is your new role. This is the new I am. You affirm it, you focus on it, and you accept it and nothing else. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. It will unfold as the new story, because this is what happens. Everything is you pushed out, and your 3D reality will reflect your story. So you don't have to hold on to the old story, because that is a circumstance, and circumstances don't matter. The past has no impact on you unless you keep it alive right now in this very moment by refocusing on it, rethinking it, giving it life right now. But right now you have a choice. Right now is a reset button. So what do you choose? To recycle again and again and again and again and again the old story, or give birth to a new story? That's your choice. And you can choose a better one that will make you happier, and that will give you peace and fulfill you. All right. Okay, guys. So if you want to coach with me, you have all the information in the box below. Also, I have the sale for the pre-recorded hypnosis, 50% off with the code SAVE50. All the affirmation tracks are also, in the box below. You have the links to the website. You have all the titles. There are 21 titles for the affirmation tracks. The coaching, you have also the links. I do EFT tapping also in a live coaching video, and hypnosis if you want. Now, if you want to do hypnosis in session like this, you must have a one-on-one coaching session first, because we need to talk. I need to get to know you in order to guide you through any type of hypnosis first. Otherwise, I don't know where to guide you, because I need to get to know you first. Okay, so thank you for subscribing if you haven't done so. And until next week, bye-bye.